If we were to be honest with ourselves, we would have to admit that we've allowed others to block our destiny by being complacent or being passive and not stating the truth when things have gone wrong. We've allowed others to say, "This is part of life, get used to it." And we walk away from the conversation dismayed. But when we're breaking toxic cycles, we must learn the pivotal power of truth. Instead of allowing others to placate the situation or shutting down, we need to readily speak the truth into our lives and into the situation that seems like a failure. Take, for instance, Elijah. God spoke to Elijah several times and told him to confront King Ahab, who was influenced by his narcissistic wife, about worshiping idols and lust and stealing and taking things that didn't belong to him, oppressing others, and having a lack of moral character. Even though Ahab was a formidable ruler and he was followed by a large portion of his kingdom and a wise diplomat, he defied God's power. For his own personal gain, he turned to worshiping idols and became the most egregious, wicked king of his time. If we look at the situation, we need to take pointers from Elijah. First, he was given a decree or a mandate from God to confront Ahab and Jezebel, and they received punishment for their disobedience because they would not listen. There was a severe drought and famine, and then there was a final confrontation, which caused blame shifting and pointing fingers, and Elijah ran for his life, hiding because he thought he was going to be killed. In 1 Kings 17 and 18, Elijah announced there would be no rain or dew except by his word, for punishment because of Ahab's idolatry, a direct warning before other confrontations. Then there was a showdown. Elijah challenged Ahab in 1 Kings 18 and the prophets of Baal, proving Yeshua's supremacy. And they followed up, telling Ahab to eat and drink because rain was coming. And they were trying to placate him and tease him and taunt him. Then Ahab seized Naboth's vineyard in 1 Kings 21, and Elijah confronted him again and told him that there would be severe punishment for the behavior, that the dogs would lick his blood and his family would be cut off, a direct death sentence for his sins. Elijah gave Ahab several severe warnings, culminating into the prophecy of his death and Jezebel's death after what they did to Naboth, showing that there were at least 3 major confrontations and warnings. If we're to look at scripture, we need to remember Ephesians 6:14. The truth is our armor, that God's character and word, such as what Jesus declared in John 17:17 and John 14:6, that I am the way, the truth, and the life. And his word is truth. Making bold proclamations helps us to stand our ground, especially during confrontation or opposition. Making bold proclamations helps us to stand our ground, especially during confrontation or opposition. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2 reminds us to preach the word and be prepared in and out of season, to correct, rebuke, and encourage with patience and careful instruction. We need to have courage during times of opposition, even if it is with people that say they are believers, because many believers have fallen asleep and they are not on their toes. We are called to stand firm even when others hate us, as it hated Christ first in John 15, verses 18 through 19. And we need to have action behind our words. James 4, verse 17 says, "Whoever knows the right thing to do it and fails to do it, for him it is sin." When we speak the truth in love, when we stand for the truth, Ephesians 4, verse 15 says, avoid becoming harsh or uncharitable. We must guard our hearts and be steadfast and prepared, and not showing compromise, especially when people are trying to block our destinies.